It is a special night for me because a couple of cowboys are with me, and this is going to be a different kind of a show because we're going to have kind of a round robin thing back and forth, which I love to do. We planned to do that during a festival that we had planned over the 4th of July. So anyway, this guy I'm going to introduce right now is I think the greatest cowboy singer of our time. He's, when it comes to being authentic, there's nobody like him. He wrote my favorite cowboy song of contemporary times, and I hope you'll sing it tonight. I recorded it on one of my albums. He's won multiple awards at the National Cowboy Hall of Fame for his work. Whenever they present the awards now, as a matter of fact, he's won so many of them. Whenever they present the awards now, he is the voice of the awards. He's the voice you hear when they put that up on the screen. National Cowboy Hall of Fame, by the way, is in Oklahoma City. I don't know how Texas failed to get that deal. They just slipped through it.
Wyoming ain't too happy either.
So, anyway, there are Cowboy Halls of Fame now all over the place, but the National Cowboy Hall of Fame is in Oklahoma City. And here's a guy who's won multiple awards in it. He lives over in what used to be called Miami, New Mexico, but that's spelled the same way as Miami, Florida, by the way. And they say Miami now. I don't know when that changed, but I'm going to let him explain that. And he does have a cattle ranch over there. He's a cowboy on lots of outfits. And his music sounds like it. It's really the real thing because he's the real thing. And that is R.W. Hampton. And also tonight we've got the guy who is the hope of the future of cowboy music. He's a young fellow that got started off when he was at 17 or 18. I first heard about him. He's got a beautiful young family now. He's got a show. What is that called? Cowboy what?
Crossroads.
Cowboy Crossroads. And he's become a star of the Cowboy Poetry Gathering in Elko now because he's the hope of all of us old timers. And that's Andy Hedges. Come on up, Andy. So tonight, welcome to the Lone Cowboy Hour. Coming to you on YouTube channel and Facebook Live. Tonight we have two other Lone Cowboys. They're here on my show. The Lone Cowboy Hour is about what you can do by yourself with one guitar, a banjo, or a piano. It's about solo activity. We've had classical guitarists and Spanish guitarists on, and all kinds of people. We hope to get Yo-Yo Ma playing solo acoustic cello sometime. It's one of my favorite things to hear is to hear him play alone. And I started off alone. I started off by myself. Couldn't afford a band. I suspect these guys right here, same way. So I'm going to start off with my theme song, which is a song I wrote for my dad right after I got over prostate cancer, got out of the Mayo Clinic, and said I'm going to go on tour again, but I'm going to go back to the way I used to do it. I'm going to perform by myself, travel alone. That was 1 year after my dad passed away. My dad used to love to go with me on those solo acoustic tours. That year I was not alone. My dad was sitting in the shotgun seat the whole time I was gone. Every once in a while, about 1 o'clock in the morning, when I was starting to hallucinate from too much coffee, could swear I could hear him say, "Come on, son, only a few more hours." I'm on a rundown, I'm out running sundown, thinking I'm on the right track. I'm writing a song as I'm riding along, and I'm keeping the sun at my back. Big horse trailer and truck, I can make my own luck, right through the sand and the sage. It gives me a rush to be busting the brush, acting about Andy Hedges' age. Lone cowboy, I'm doing my best. Lone cowboy, I go everywhere west. Lone cowboy, with my old campfire songs. Lone cowboy, giddy up, get along. I've owned some good ponies, blacks, bays, and blue romies, maize, jalapenos, and paints. Got good songs and bad ones, love songs and sad ones, songs about sinners and saints. I'm still riding on wildfire to find the next campfire. Memories turn embers to coals. But at daylight I'm crying to live forever or die trying. I'll never get old in my soul. Lone cowboy, I'm doing my best. Lone cowboy, I go everywhere west. Lone cowboy, with my old campfire songs. Lone cowboy, lone cowboy, lone cowboy. Ha! Tonight we've got a guy who's played at just about every folk festival in America now, and at the request of some of the greatest folk singers around. He got his own show on the air called Cowboy Crossroads, and you can tune into it as a podcast. And we're greatly pleased to be able to have him as a guest tonight. He's from Lubbock, Texas, and it's Andy Hedges. Thank you.
Thanks, Murph. It's an honor to be here with you and with RW. I sing a lot of the old time songs, and I'm going to play one of those for you right now. This is a song that, these old traditional songs, there's a lot of versions of them, and they show up with different verses and different melodies, and this is one of those. There's several cowboy songs called Diamond Joe, and there's also some old kind of blues and string band songs with that same title, all kind of about an oppressive character. And so I combined a couple of those tunes into one song. Thought they may have been related somewhere down the line, and I thought they might like to get back together again. Trying to whip me, Diamond Joe, you better come get me, Diamond Joe. There is a man you'll hear about, oh steady where you go. His holdings are in Texas, and his name is Diamond Joe. Oh, he carries all his money in a diamond-studded jaw. Never was much bothered by the process of the law. Triple C, Diamond Joe, you better come get me, Diamond Joe. Well, I hired a Diamond Joe boy and offered him my hand. And he gave me a string of horses, they're so old they couldn't stand. And I nearly starved to death, boys, as he did mistreat me so. And I never saved a dollar from the pay of Diamond Joe. I'm gonna buy me a piece of meat and cook a slice every week. Diamond Joe, you better come get me, Diamond Joe. It was corn dodgers, and his meat I couldn't chaw. And he drove me nearly crazy with the wagging of his jaw. With the telling of his stories, boys, I aim to let you know there never was a rounder who could lie like Diamond Joe. I'm gonna buy me a sack of flour, bake a whole cake every hour. Diamond Joe, you better come get me, Diamond Joe. Well, I tried 3 times to quit him, boys, but he did argue so. I'm still punching cattle in the pay of Diamond Joe. When I'm called up yonder and it comes my time to go, give my blankets to my buddies and give the fleece to Diamond Joe. I'm gonna buy me a roll-up bed and have a place to lay my head. Diamond Joe, you better come get me, Diamond Joe. Well, Diamond Joe, come and get me. My wife's trying to whip me. Diamond Joe, you better come get me, Diamond Joe.
Make sure you get this on camera.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to get, and my melting microphone stand too.
Did we get that fixed?
Yes, we did. We swapped it out. Kept the same audience. Got a new stand.
Was that Donald Trump's fault too?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, if he stepped out of the boat like the Lord and went to walking on water, they'd say, well, looky there, the president can't swim. See, son, that's where all these stupid dad jokes come in, see?
Billy Gray rode in the gantry back in the year of '83 when he first met pretty Sarah McLean. The wild rose of morning, the pale flower of dawning, bloomed in the springtime of Billy's life that day. Now Sarah, she could not see the daylight of reality. In her young eyes, Billy bore not a flaw, knowing that her chosen one, once he was a hired gun, wanted in Kansas City by the law. True love has no season, no rhyme and no reason. Justice is as cold as the Granger County clay. Then one day a tall man came riding through the badlands that lie to the north of New Mexico. Overheard to say he was looking for Billy Gray, wanted in Kansas City by the law. Well, the news it came creeping to Billy fast sleeping there in the dust of the Clarendon Hotel. Billy ran to the outskirts, to the old church, thinking he'd hide in the old steeple there. But a rifle ball came flying, face down he lay dying there in the dust of the road where he lay. Sarah ran to him, she was cursing the lawman. Poor girl knew no reason except that he'd been killed. True love has no season, no rhyme and no reason. Justice is as cold as the Granger County clay. Sarah still lives in that old white frame house where she first met Billy 40 years ago. Written on the old stone where the dusty winds have blown, 18 words passing strangers say. True love has no season, no rhyme and no reason. Justice is as cold as the Granger County clay. Billy Gray rode into Gantry back in the year of '83 when he first met pretty Sarah McLean. And the wild rose of morning is faded with the dawning. Each year at springtime, the lonely wind still blows.
Yeah.
Once again, R.W. Hampton.
Where'd that song come from, Murph? I gotta hear that. That's beautiful, man.
That was written by Norman Blake.
Wow. I thought it was an old song.
Yeah, it is, because Norman's old. He wrote it probably 40, 50 years ago. I did it on my old album.
Man, that's pretty. I'm gonna sing a song I hadn't done in a long time. It kind of takes me back to a place when I was a kid. They used to play it on the radio a lot. And anyhow, where we live at the east slope of the Sangre de Cristo, the Blood of Christ Mountains, not very far from here, the wind blows a lot. And it blows the clothes off the line, tears the screen door off, and springs your pickup door, and we cuss it, and then we go in and write romantic songs about it. I think mine's getting out of tune. Oh, the wayward wind is a restless wind, a restless wind. Thank you. That yearns to wander, and I was born good next of kin. next of kin to the wayward wind. In lonesome shack by the railroad track I spent my younger days, but the lonesome sound of the outward bound made me a slave to my wandering ways. And the wayward wind is a restless wind, a restless wind that yearns to wander. And I was born the next of kin, the next of kin to the wayward wind. Well, I met her there in a border town, we vowed we'd never part, though I tried my best to settle down. Now she's alone with a broken heart, and the wayward wind is a restless wind, a restless wind that yearns to wander. And I was born the next of kin, the next of kin to the wayward wind. Yes, I was born the next of kin, the next of kin to the wayward wind.
R.W. Hampton. You know, R.W., that reminds me, I went on once in a while I used to go on these outfitting deals, and I would lead trail rides. And one year we were up on the Thunder Mountain Trail, which is up in Utah.
Yes, sir.
And old man was really the outfitter, not us. He led the trails because he knew all the country about what they call Hurricane
Utah. Yeah.
And so we got on top of the mountain, and the wind was it was about to blow my horse over. And I said, Wallace, does the wind blow like this all the time? He said, no, sometimes it blows the other way.
There you go. There you
Andy
go.
Hedges.
It wasn't until about 27 years ago, when I was 13, that I learned there were still people around playing that kind of music. And I watched a Austin City Limits concert that was a salute to the American cowboy with Michael Martin Murphey and the Friends. And I was pretty well taken in by that whole deal and started teaching myself to play the guitar and learning old cowboy poems. And I kept hearing about a fella named R.W. Hampton, and I didn't have any of his records. And, you know, that was back, at least for me, before the internet, and so it was kind of slow getting information, but I kept seeing pictures of this guy in Western Horseman and hearing he was pretty good. And one day, this would have been a couple years after I discovered Murph, that I was walking into the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City, and I see this fellow walking towards me in the parking lot who looks just like R.W. Hampton. And I say, "You're R.W. Hampton, aren't you?" And he said, "I sure am." And I said, "Well, I like cowboy music, and I've heard about you." And he said, "Well, do you have any of my albums?" And I said, "No, sir." And he pulled out a cassette called Born to Be a Cowboy and gave it to me right there. And been a fan ever since.
He charged me $11.95.
I still owe him for
What is it
that one.
about you?
So all that to say, I really admire both of these men, and I'm always thrilled to share this stage with them. Well, I love being in this part of New Mexico, and one of the great classic cowboy poets was from down in Las Vegas, New Mexico, and his name was S. Omer Barker. You see some trails and things around here named after his brother, Elliot Barker.
Yep.
A great New Mexican and outdoorsman and a poet himself. But S. Omer Barker, he was born in 1894. He died in 1985. His full name was Squire Omer Barker, which made his initials S.O.B. And he had the great idea for his cattle brand to turn that S on its side. And if you know how to read a brand, that would make his brand the Lazy S.O.B. But he went to register the brand with the state of New Mexico, and in Barker's own words, he said, "Some other lazy S.O.B. beat me to it." And this is a poem he wrote that I set to music a few years ago. This was in his very first book, 1924. And it's kind of about the call of the West and of the cowboy life. And, Murph mentioned my show. I've interviewed Murphey and I've interviewed R.W. And neither one of those guys were born into the cowboy life, but they were drawn to it. Yep. And that's been true of so many people like Charlie Russell and Will James, and the list could go on. And some of them become the real deal, and some of us, like some of you and me, just love it so much our whole life, and we have an admiration for the culture. So this piece is for those people. I don't think anybody put that feeling into words any better than S. Omer Barker. Traced in the flicker of greasewood fire, the cowboy kid saw his heart's desire. Still but a lad in a play cow camp, his ears heard the milling remute his stamp, and he knew his heart would know no rest till he could scratch 'em along with the best. And over the shouldered mesas ride, the saddle creak with his horse's stride. Boy, a dream for the time when he could answer the range's witchery. Ruddled there by the hearth fire's flame, grizzled and old as a Salem dame. His hair is whitish as alkali. The cowboy kid sees his past go by. He smells the sage off the mesas round. The days come tumbling back to him. Days that were tinged with the smell of hair, burnt till the brand came clean and fair. Nights that were drawn with the milling herd, his feeble heart within him stirred. And there in the fire, within the flame, into his soul, the old call came. would saddle and over the hill, ride to the ranges that beckoned him still. There by the fire, as he fell asleep, the old man's pulses ceased their sweep of cowboy blood through his leather veins. A west wind called from his sagebrush plains, and off to dim ranges of mounted men, the cowboy kid rode forth again. From Las Vegas, New Mexico.
There was snow on the Spanish peaks that morning. Summertime was coming to an end. Took a long and lonesome ride to Dalhart. Tried to say goodbye to my old friend. Was happy driving ranges as a cowboy. Lightened up my campfire with a song. Took a long and lonesome ride to Dalhart when the grass turned brown and fall was coming on. Oh, that long and lonesome ride to Dalhart when it's time to bring summer cattle down. Board up the shack, blow out the candle, get on down to the panhandle. Time for getting down to winter ground. Took a long and lonesome ride to Dalhart. Thought about the way he lost his life, working over in a Kansas feedlot, when he left behind 3 children and a wife. Nobody knows exactly how it happened. Was all alone when that big horse went down. Took a long and lonesome ride to Dalhart when his partners brought him home to winter ground. Well, that long and lonesome ride to Dalhart when it's time to bring summer cattle down. Board up the shack, blow out the candle, get on down to the panhandle. Time for getting down to winter ground. Took a long and lonesome ride to Dalhart. There was hundreds at the church when I got there. 6 strong cowboys with long black coats and black hats, walking slowly as the fiddler played an air. Then the preacher said this young man just changed horses. Now he rides a white horse for the Lord. He took a long and lonesome ride to Dalhart, but he kept on riding till he crossed that Jordan Ford. candle, get on down to the panhandle. Time for getting down to winter ground. On that long and lonesome ride to Dalhart, when it's time to bring summer cattle down. Board up the shack, blow out the candle, get on down to the panhandle. Time for getting down to winter ground. Now he's leaning, oh he's leaning, safe and secure from all alarms. Jesus was the pick of man, he's leaning, he's leaning, he's leaning on the everlasting arms. I get the Hampton
Trying to decide if I can sing this song in the regular key that I do it in. Singing at over 10,000 feet's a different proposition.
How high are you there?
65. Yeah.
I
But,
thought you were closer to Colorado than that.
well, I'm 5'10" with my boots off. This is an old song I'm going to dedicate to Brother Bill Hearn down here. And you ever heard a song called New Mexico Rain? That's our theme song, and he's one of my heroes for a long time. But this is a song of mine that my wife comes up with great ideas, and she said, honey, you ought to put the song that you're going to sing together with an old song. And the two of them go together like this. For 7 years I've been out roaming far across the rolling river, but I'll return and be your lover. Look away, we're bound away across the wide Missouri. Left my home so long ago, I've rambled near and far, traded my old boots and spurs for a crying moan guitar. What a loss along the way, the good Lord only knows. I ain't sold my saddle yet, and while I still got the time to go, I'm a-singing, Donnie, catch a horse for me, you know, the one that I never could ride. Jake, you snub him up real close, gonna give him another try. Me and Tom ride the cedar brakes and the wild ones rope and tie. Bonnie Gray, if you're still free, would you be a cowboy's bride? From the Big Orange to Dakota line, where the Beltouche River runs, I rode a many a frozen mile, but I had a lot of fun. I ran my first wild horses there, Lord, I've never been the same. I long to see the sun go down on the Thunder Basin range, singing, Johnny, catch a a horse for me, you know, the one that I never could ride. Shake your snub him up real close, gonna give him another try. Me and Tom will ride the cedar breaks, the wild ones rope and tie. Bonnie Gray, if you're still free, would you be a cowboy's bride? I've got a gal that's true to me, she's waited for so long. Wanted nothing more from life than a family and home. First thing in the morning, I'll ride out and see her pa. She and I are gonna settle down at the head of the cottonwood draw. Singing, Donnie, catch a horse for me, you know, the one that I never could ride. Shake your snub him up real close, gonna give him another try. Out of river, Tom, let her buck, the Missouri's deep and wide. Bonnie Gray, if you're still free, would you be a cowboy's bride? Donnie, catch a horse for me, you know, the one that I never could ride. Oh, yeah. Oh, never could ride. Never could ride. Oh.
R.W. Hampton.
Thank you very much. Man, what beautiful music. I feel like a rowboat following the battleship after these guys. You know, we swap songs and we don't have a set. We just kind of feed off each other and we get ideas. And
Let me tell you how I feel with my pipsqueak voice whenever you hit one of those.
well, I take some good supplements. So, but there's a fella down here with a USMC cap. And, I've got a son that, yes, it just, thank you, sir. My oldest son just got back from Afghanistan, and he celebrated his 34th birthday in his 15th year in the Marine Corps. So I'm gonna do this old Peter Lafarge song. Ira Hayes, Ira Hayes. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine that went to war. Gather round me, people, there's a story I would tell about a brave young Indian who you should remember well. From the land of the Pima Indians, a proud and noble band who farmed the Phoenix Valley in the Arizona land. Down the ditches for 1,000 years the water grew Ira's people's crops, till a white man stole his water rights and the sparkling water stopped. Now Ira's folks were hungry and his land grew crops of weeds, but when war came Ira volunteered and forgot the white man's greed. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine that went to war. There they battled up Iwo Jima Hill, 250 men, but only 27 lived to walk back down again. And when the fight was over and Old Glory raised, among the men who held it high was the Indian Ira Hayes. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine that went to war. Ira Hayes returned a hero, celebrated through the land. He was wined and speeched and honored. Everybody shook his hand. But he was just a Pima Indian. No water, no home, no chance. At home nobody cared what Ira done, and when do the Indians dance? Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine that went to war. Now, Ira started drinking hard, and jail was often his home. They let him raise the flag and lower it, like you would throw a dog a bone. He died drunk early one morning, alone in the land he'd fought to save. 2 inches of water in a lonely ditch was a grave for Ira Hayes. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine that went to war. Yeah, call him drunken Ira Hayes, but his land is just as dry, and his ghost is lying thirsty in the ditch where Ira died. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Bounded by Ira Hayes.
R.W. Hampton. Anyway, this is called the Nighthawk. And now that I'm an old man who's been in the entertainment business and stayed up late lots of nights, I really understand this song. I'm up tonight in the Pinnacles Bowl, where the wind towers high, where the air is clear and the wind blows cold. It's only the horses and I, and the valley swims like a silver sea in the light of a big full moon. Strong and clear it comes to me, the lilt of the first guard's tune. I've traveled better than half my trail. I'm well down the further slope. I've seen my dreams and ambitions fail, but memory replaces hope. Must be true that I've heard it said, only the good die young. But tough old cusses like R.W. did, we stay till the last dog's hung. I lived my life and I took my chance, regardless of law or vow. I played the game and I've had my dance. Now I'm paying the fiddler now, and the boys call me the old Nighthawk. Hey, Andy, I'm pay the fiddler now. Well, there in the east is the morning star. Shines with a fiery glow. You know, it looks kind of like the end of a big old cigar. You know, one that ain't got too far to go. Just like some cowboys who make a big splash, they don't stand too long of a run. They always come in with a sweep and a dash when the hard work's already been done. Well, I see the east is getting gray now. I'll saddle the horses soon. I'll say goodbye to the big full moon. You know, life is like the night herder's song. As the years, they come and they go. You start with a loop that's swift and strong. But you finish up tired and slow. But I've lived my life and I took my chance, regardless of law or vow. I played the game, I've had my dance, I'm paying the fiddler now, and the boys call me the all-night hawk. Paying the fiddler now. Put alone, put alone, put alone, put alone, put alone, put alone, put alone.
Yeah, boy, what a beautiful time of the evening. And I can't think of a better song, for me anyway, than this song. Oh Lord, my God, when I also wonder, consider all the worlds thy hands have made. Lord, I see the stars, and I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe display. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God his Son not sparing sent him to die, I scarce can take it in, that on the cross, my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation to take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, how great thou art. Thank you all so much.
She comes down from Yellow Mill on a dark flatland she rides, on a pony she named Wildfire. Whirlwind by your side on the cold Nebraska night. They say she died one winter when there came a killing frost, and the pony she named Wildfire busted down the stall. In a blizzard he was lost. Ran calling Wildfire. She ran calling Wildfire. Calling So by the dark of the moon I planted, but there came an early snow. Then a hoot owl howling outside my window now. 6 nights in a row, it's coming for me, I know. And on Wildfire we're both gonna go. We'll be riding Wildfire, riding Wildfire, riding Wildfire, on Wildfire. We're gonna ride, we're gonna leave, start busting behind, get the hard times right on out of our mind. We'll be riding Well, friends, you've just seen the 16th episode of the Lone Cowboy Hour. This week starring R.W. Hampton and Andy Hedges. As I always love to do, I'll leave you with the Lone Cowboy Logic thought of the evening. For folk singers like us, perfect pitch is when you yank the banjo out of the banjo player's hand and hit the dumpster with the first time. Oh yes, and one more last thought. I think my other Lone Cowboy friends will agree with me on this one. If you could kick a man in the pants who caused you the most trouble in your life, you wouldn't be able to sit down for a month.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Martin Murphey.
down, I'm out running sundown. I'm thinking I'm on the right track. I'm writing a song as I'm riding along, keeping the sun at my back. Big horse trailer and truck, I can make my own luck as I ride through the sand and the sage. As it gives me a rush to be busting the brush, acting about half my age. Lone cowboy, I'm doing my best. Lone cowboy, I go everywhere west. Lone cowboy, with my old campfire song. Lone cowboy, giddy up, get along. I've owned some good ponies, blacks, bays, and blue ronies, grays, pal.